So guys, I just came out of the hotel to really quickly shoot this video um, with a kind of update, or I believe it might be useful to some of you who will kind of follow my steps in the future. So my current status is that I got separated from people that God called me to separate from, and these were like really the closest people around me. So 4 people. I mean, it's not something that many of us would do, really. It's not easy thing to do, but I did it. So it was my husband, my mother, my son, and my brother. That sounds unbelievable, huh? But I trust my God, and I could figure out after some time, based on the way that they were, I don't know, either treating me or my experience with them during the years and things like that. So it all adds up, and it, I guess, leads to the same conclusion that I needed to do it. And I trust my God. I trust that that's something I needed to do, and that it's good for me, and probably it's good for them as well. So there was that stage or season of separation. And I guess before that there was a season of transition. So transition and then separation, and then I was called to move. So to cut communication first, to cut them off, and then to move out, and basically to shut the door and not come back to it again. Because in that kind of environment, as I understood, I could not progress, or I could not go to the next level. And we all know that we are now in a season when God is separating people, like repentant from unrepentant, and rebellious people, and like that. So believe it or not, this is my second time moving out, because I kept hearing that repeated message to separate and to move out. So it's not an easy decision, and it's like financial wisely, relationship wisely, and in any other aspect. So I knew I had to do it. So God was calling me to move out, and that was like a repeated message. So I kind of got a sense of urgency, and I said, okay, I'm going to be obedient. I'm going to move out, or like move, but I don't know where, so I didn't get that message. So move where? And I just went. I didn't know where, so I went to Florida. So this is my first time moving, and that was in April. Now it's June, end of June. So I don't know, I stayed there 7 days or 5-6 days, but I didn't really get a lot of like either confirmations or signs or directions. So I've returned home, but in the following period, I started, from time to time getting these messages again, like confirmations that I should move. And then at that time, I was still in communication with all of my closest family members, but I started getting these repeated messages to separate from them, and also the reasons why. And I did that. So I cut the communication with them, and with this move, I've separated from them. I was actually living with my son, so I didn't really tell him that, but I just moved. I know that he won't really mind because he's already an adult and he actually prefers to live alone. And I'll pay my half of the rent anyway, so that's good for him. I mean, at least he thinks so. And yeah, so it's not a big deal from that side, but this time I started getting signs and more messages. So repeat it all started with repeated message to separate. I did that, and after I obeyed that, then I got another sign, another message. So the thing is that, as I figured out, you cannot expect to get sign after sign, but what really happens is that you'll get a direction or instruction from God or sign from God, and then after you obey Him, after you do that, what He requests from you to do, like in my case, to separate from those people. Once I did that, then I got another guidance, another sign. So the way to progress is to obey, basically. And it's really great if you journal the instructions so that you really don't forget and you remind yourself on what really God wanted you to do. So that was the first thing. Then I got the instruction to move out, and that's what I did, and I did that 4 days ago. And I didn't know where am I going, and I really didn't know anything, so I just packed all of my things. I took a few days to gather everything, to resolve some current issues, to pay some bills and things like that, and then I left. So following my God's guidance, I moved. So I went to Florida. I am currently at the Siesta Key Beach. And today, when I was going towards the beach, while I was driving, I saw a car right in front of me, and on the back of it, it was written "Good Vibes." Then when I came to the beach, I saw a wedding on the beach. It was fun to see that. And then I went for a little walk, and the next thing I saw was on my phone, which said "New name, new vibes, new upload." Alright, then before this day, I started receiving messages that my soulmate is impatient and he is on his way to find me. And now I'm also waiting for the guidance. So I guess we'll be divinely guided towards each other. And according to the signs, this should happen swiftly. So let's see what happens next. April 23rd, 2025. So according to the signs that I've received from God or guiding agents sent by God, I am, or within the last few days, I was in some kind of transitioning period. So I was in transition, like from old to new. And I was advised to get rid of all the past, everything from the past. And because this is the final stage before I meet my kingdom spouse, there will be like the last final attack from my enemies. But I was advised to stay calm, to find peace, and during this period of time I was a little bit depressive as well, because I was at the same time receiving some messages about the past as well, and what happened with my enemies, basically, with people who hurt me, and what is like going on with them, and also that they are not giving up from hurting me. And although I find out all the awful bad things that they did to me, like awful, I'm so glad and thankful to God that I didn't know about this fully, because I don't know how would I survive that, like the thought of it. But I guess I'm good at it, and I guess I would just numb my feelings in that sense. Somehow I'm good at pushing through and keep going. And in this final stage, that's crucial. So I'm not giving up. It's the final stage. So I'll get the new name, and my kingdom spouse is in search for me, and will be divinely guided towards each other. And once we find each other, we'll just recognize each other. Our souls will recognize each other, and we'll have a great, happy life together. Hello everyone. Today's video is being recorded in my car, just a quick video, and it is about my trip in Florida, and you'll find the other video about that. So the reason for going to Florida was basically obeying God's instruction. And then I used that time to return my internal peace, but also I use this time to reflect on such a big download of information in the last 7 days, I would say, and even the last 1 month, which I believe were informations about the truth about my past revealed by God. Okay, so what I wanted to share with you today is what happened on my way back. So since I was traveling through Georgia and Tennessee, and I was expecting that the navigation will basically lead me through Nashville, and that I would be using like Chattanooga and then Nashville, that I would be using highway. And even if you're traveling late in the evening, if you're using highway, then there's a lot of traffic on the highway, and it's very, very safe, even if you're traveling as a female alone late in the night. However, my navigation for some reason has chosen some other way, which was not, and I wasn't really, at a certain point of time, I wasn't really paying too much attention. I was focused on listening some videos, and I kind of relied on navigation. And yes, I was going towards the Chattanooga. I don't know if I've missed some small turning or not, but I ended up using some kind of side roads, not really, a highway. So these side roads, like there was a lot of ups and downs. Like I went through some mountains, and then the narrow roads, dark roads, not lightened, all kind of signs warning about potential animals jumping in front of the vehicle. And only I was lucky that there was, like, during one route in the road, there was one car right in front of me, and I was driving behind it for at least like 40-50 minutes. The road was dark. There was like I was passing through some kind of state park. Oh, it was awful. I remember Bigfoots and things like that, so I was hoping things like that will not happen. Anyways, so wow, I mean, at a certain point of time I realized, oh wow, this road is not really taking me, to the highway and to the Nashville, but it is taking me to the final destination, yes, but through some, side roads. And so the one thing that I wanted basically to share with you is that almost at the end of this trip, when I was like getting closer to the civilization, let's call it like that, and there were a few more cars, and right in front of me there was one car which was kind of making noise, like when those young people drive and then they make some kind of noise with the car. So I paid attention on it. It was black car, some kind of smaller black car. And when on the red light, when I approached this car, you know what was written on the back of it? On the plates? Lucifer. Can you imagine? So yes, I obeyed God. I went to that trip, but and thanks God, everything was fine. And thanks, my dear God, the trip went well, and I was safe, and I was protected all the time. But see, the devil is always trying to, if possible, make our life a little bit more difficult. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. So, to be honest, the most challenging part of this trip was during the first 2 days, because I didn't really know where to go. So, from where, so this is how it happened. I thought, okay, I don't know where am I going, but I am being obedient. I trust my God. I fully surrender, and I will just pack my things, and I will, move out from the apartment with the intention to separate myself physically as well, and to go towards God's promise somewhere. I have no idea where. And to meet some new people. I have no idea who. And I'll just do what God tells me to do. So I pack my things, I go out of the apartment, grab a cup of coffee, and then in the meantime I'm like talking to God and asking, like, oh God, where to go now, where, like, where. So I'm thinking, okay, should I go east, north, south, in which direction? And then I kind of hear, I it was like I it was like I was hearing my internal voice telling me east. Okay, so I've pulled up the Google Maps, and I was searching for like towns east of the town where I was living in. And then, I figured out where to go. It was just like the next step. Okay, and I wasn't really worrying about anything else. Okay, I know what's my next step. And I started moving. So I came to the next town, the next closest town, which was on east side. And then I asked my God, like in my mind, even, verbally, where to now? And then I've heard that internal voice telling me again to go to the next town and to have a lunch there in Olive Garden. Okay, so I did that. And then after that, I didn't really get any message, but as I understood, because I didn't get any message, I should stay there. So I did. I mean, and how to stay there, I need to, find myself an accommodation. So that was the challenging part, because, all this, I'm here for now 4 days, I think. And I've been paying for hotels like day by day, because I didn't really know, like, should I stay here for a day or two, or how long am I going to stay here? And where am I going? Where is my final destination? Is this my final destination? But in those prophetic videos that I've listened before, and they were kind of guiding me, green pastures were mentioned, and at this place there were green pastures. Okay, and then the next thing was mentioned, like, go to the highways and hedges. Okay, and that was like, definitely I was moving through the highways, and hedges, a lot of hedges. And then what's really interesting with this trip and these 3 days that I spent here, I think today's like 4th day, is that I did a lot of circling around. That's really, I mean, I didn't really even realize in the very beginning, although the signs were really very obvious because I see the sign on the road which says circle, and then I I really was circling a lot in this town, and I guess, I mean, I was circling a lot, um, and even within, because the town has like a ring road around the town, and also within that ring road, inside of that ring road, I made a lot of circles as well. And this wasn't really like, it happened accidentally, I guess. I mean, it wasn't my purpose. I guess it was God's purpose. So, like, I go to visit some park. I just have a feeling I need to go to visit some park. Okay, so I choose, like, from many parks, I choose that one specific park, and then I go there. And the thing is, like, the starting point and the end point makes a circle. Okay. And also, when I was going with the car, it was also, making a circle. And then I also, one of those days, I just felt like, spending time in nature, and then I was searching for surrounding parks or interesting things to do, and then I went to like overlook on the river. But again, uh, but I really realized that afterwards, not really in that moment. Again, the starting point and the end point was the circle. Okay, and in one of those prophetic videos, one of the prophetics, she was saying that like as I understood, that God wants us to, or maybe some of us, to pray when we are in some places, and that brings like protection to those people and to the people in that place. Uh, or even like when we are praying, even when we are driving a car, or like in person when we are walking, maybe some people who are around will, like, they'll come after us and they'll go through that prayer, and then they might change, they might return to God, repent, I don't know. So that's one of the things. I mean, these are some of the realizations that, just some conclusions that I came to during this process. I mean, this could be, it's not like I'm convinced 100%, but it makes sense. What else? Yeah. So it is really challenging because of the unknown things and uncomfortability. Because you don't really, you just, you are basically learning how to trust God, to deepen your trust into Him. That's I guess one of the major tests of this move. And also, uh, for me, it was really challenging in the first 2 days because, yeah, one of the I just remembered, like, I don't know, maybe second day, I kind of, I guess I've heard the voice, my voice, internal voice, telling me to go to the airport at a specific time of the day. So I went there, and it was like, and then I've heard like 7 p.m. Okay, so I went there, and I said, okay, it's like I'm not leaving. I cannot leave because I have my car. What to do with my car? But previously, in order to really show how serious I am about moving and moving like forever, I sold my bike, I sold a gun, or things that were like that I could sell, not really a car, but although I have intention to sell a car as well. I mean, if it's necessary, if I'm relocating abroad, so I will definitely sell a car. That's not a big deal. So that really showed my serious intention, you know. So I stayed at the airport for almost 3 hours because the flights were delayed. So I figured out, like, if I'm not leaving, I'm not traveling, so it's not the departure, then what else? Then arrival. And then I've heard that 7 p.m. So I was looking at the flights that were coming at arriving at 7 p.m. And the thing is that there were like 3 or 4 of them, and they were delayed. I think there were 3 of them, and they were delayed. But they like eventually came, but they were delayed. And that was such a strange feeling. And I remember I was inside of myself, I was really telling myself, like, this is the most stupid thing that I ever did in my life. So I'm just telling you this because sometimes what you might hear or you will do will not really make sense, and especially in these first 2 days, you will, feel really challenged. So and confused, and that's also the attack of the enemy, the spiritual attack. Because confusion wise clarity comes from God. So I made my situation a little bit easier by, I was asking God, should I stay here, where should I go? And it looked like I was not getting any information on that, but eventually, I figured it out, that I need to, like, I will stay, but I didn't know how long. So I stayed like day by day. I was booking my hotel day by day. And yeah, so today during the afternoon hours, I actually figured out that I'm supposed to move further. So it was stupid. I felt stupid to wait at the airport. I'm waiting like for somebody. I don't even know who am I waiting for. And then I also, because I was kind of, I guess, as I understood, I was promised a kingdom spouse. So I thought I might be waiting for him. And then, as people were coming, I was looking at them, and then it was such a, I don't know, it's funny and laughable, but at the same time, it's kind of, I don't know, you could even call it stupid. Like every male that I saw, I was like looking at him as a potential kingdom spouse, and it was like, oh, I was praying to God, oh my God, may God help me, like, I don't want this guy to be my husband. It was, I don't know, that experience, I don't know, it was really something. I don't know why did I need to go through that, but I did. Well, I guess maybe it was just to obey God, doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it was some stupid thing, whatever, but the point was to obey God. Yeah. Oh, and I remember the one more thing. Like during these 3 days, early in the morning, at least that's what I felt. Like that I was dreaming something, but it was at the same time like somebody, or maybe spiritually, was instructing me about something. But the thing is that I don't really remember what was that all about, but I guess my subconscious mind does. Another thing I've remembered is that, like, when I was visiting one of those parks, one of the trail was called Freedom Trail. So I don't think it was a coincidence that it was called Freedom Trail. And also the park was called Raven Run. And in one of the prophetic videos, the prophetic said that God said, go, move, and I will send ravens. Like he sent ravens to feed Elijah, Prophet Elijah.
You can go.
If you caught up with us, we're going too slow.
So I'm back to my hotel. There are notes all around because I am journaling, like trying to journal everything. And so as I started receiving these messages late in the afternoon about the need to move. So I figured out, I will wait for another confirmation, but I really figured out that I will be moving out tomorrow from here and back again to the insecurity, like, I don't know, leaving the comfortability, like a comfortable place, or the known place and going to the unknown. It's really challenging to do, all of this, but at least I had some rest. Like during these 2 days, I really had some rest finally, because at least I was not worried about like what will I do tomorrow. At least I knew I will stay here. Okay, like I got the confirmation. I should book another night, and then it's kind of a relief for me. I can have some rest. And I like, the most challenging part is when you are in a car and you're going somewhere you don't even know where you're going. But wherever God's promise was, wherever you go, I will provide for you. So yeah, I guess that's what I will do tomorrow. But you need to understand that during this time, like when you separate yourself from those people or when you move out, you will be under the spiritual attack as well. But at the same time, you will be completely protected by the Almighty God. So when I was like, what came to my mind when I was like circling around with my car or by foot in those parks is that I was in a circle. So it was like I was in a circle of protection. So I was divinely protected by the Almighty God. That's something that I knew from the very beginning, and I'm convinced of it. So yes, there were spiritual attacks, but you know what I felt? I felt like confused. There was no clarity. So, especially in the first 2 days. So that's how I felt. But, the end goal of those spiritual attacks was probably, something like a a death wish or something like that. So that's another proof that we are protected by the Almighty God. So one of the messages that I've received from another prophetic person today in the afternoon is that there is that we guys should be praying against the spirit of delay, and this is the prayer that was given to us, and it goes like this. Dear God, please rebuke all evil plans and manipulations from spirit of delay and spirits of rejection on me. Help me walk into your plan without any delay and rejection, and continue my progress and process in your plan. I rebuke all spirits of delay and rejection that try to delay progress in my life. Dear God, please deliver me from evil spirits of delay and rejection. Deliver me from any delay and rejection. Deliver me from any delay in my progress, opportunities, and financial blessings, and the blessings from God for my life. So I'm just sharing it with you. This was a prayer revealed to one of the chosen ones. July 1st, new update. I actually stayed. I stayed in that hotel. I prolonged my stay for a few more days. I was actually confused. When I think that I get a sign for something, then I ask for kind of confirmation. And then, yesterday I thought that the sign was that I should go forward. But at the same time, there were many previous signs were telling me to stay where I am. So I asked for the confirmation, and then when I checked the website to book the hotel, like I was wondering, should I book it or not? Then I saw that the price was really great, and I took it for a sign that I should stay. But then I was wondering, should I stay one night or a few nights? How long I will stay? Eventually I booked the hotel for another 3 days. So yeah, I'm sharing this with you so that you know, like, it's really not easy, and it's not something that I'm used to be able to discern the signs in God's voice. And also another thing that I really miss is that I don't really get dreams, or I don't remember my dreams. So that makes the situation even more challenging for me, I would say. On the other side, there's not like much going on when it comes to the physical realm. So I am praying to God to show me some physical sign, or something to change in the physical world, like anything that was promised, like a destiny helper to come, or some favors to appear. Well, the favor has appeared when it comes to this hotel. For example, the price was really good. But I need something solid, like some kind of connection to appear, or really at least to get an email or a phone call, some kind of movement, something to happen. I don't know how long I should stay here. What's my next step? And whenever I think of that, then I figured out and I realized that it's not really me, because I did whatever I could. I mean, I'm doing whatever I can. So it's like me waiting on something to happen, waiting on somebody else. I don't think it's me, because I did a lot. Like, I sacrificed, I left everything. I fully trust my God. Actually, still in the stage of totally relying on God. I do with my mind fully, but sometimes when it comes to the physical world, I believe I'm still learning to rely more on God and to discern more. And my personal issue with that is that I was a single mother for like 23 years, and as a single mother with not too much support really around, I needed to learn to, be self-reliant, and not just that, but to take care of my son. So of course God was helping me all my life, but I guess I got used to having everything under my control, or it's not that I like that, but I was forced to do it. So now I'm, I guess, unlearning this and kind of letting it go and relying completely on God. So it is really challenging when it comes to the finances, when it comes to the uncertainty, loneliness, no communication, you could say isolation, everything happening at the same time. But because I went through the years of isolation, I was in similar periods of without the communication, and I went through the extreme pain as well in life. So this piece actually suits me. Like, I love to be in peace. But then again, don't think that I don't have challenges with finances. Like, I really do, because believe it or not, currently I'm living on unemployment benefits, and I've just realized that they are like about to end. But God gave me a favor with the severance agreement. I got more than I expected, and even before I got it, God announced it to me. So God was with me in all this way. So I am fasting today for a better discernment. But also what I've noticed that really when I'm fasting, if I don't get like immediate results or immediate messages, I'll definitely get it the next day.